My name is Nora Wood, and I'm a 5th grade science and social studies teacher at Auburndale Elementary. One of the things that I thought was really interesting for the people of the professional development to be able to see and experience was when we first walked in, we got all of our paperwork and signed in, and we picked up our worksheets that we're going to be using throughout the day. And when we sat down, one of the first things I said was, okay, if you have a pink sheet, it's time to get up and find a new seat. And we had just sat down, started the PD. So Crystal, one of the instructors, said, don't worry, there's a reason for this, and you'll find out later. So as the professional development went on, they probably moved us maybe, 4 or 5 more times to kind of simulate what our students go through when they have to pick up and move. Sometimes in the middle of the night, trying to get away from a domestic violence situation. Some kids have no warning. Some of our refugee students have to move from a different country, all the way across the world. So it was an inconvenience for the people at the professional development, but it really made you think of kind of what our students are going through when they have to pick up all their stuff and move. So that was a neat little activity that we got to do and kind of experience what they were going through. I enjoyed learning about the different populations of our students that we identify as being homeless. A lot of times I think the teachers don't realize everything that really encompasses. You think of our students that are in a homeless shelter, but you don't think of all the students that have no home because they've lost their home, that they have to move in with a relative or a family friend and have to leave all their stuff behind. So it made you think about that. And it was nice to be in the PD and hear the LMPD school resource officer's point of view on some of the topics, and then get to do the ride along with them. We got to see some of the neighborhoods that our students are coming from, and you got to kind of think, how our students are living and what they're experiencing every day. We got to see some areas that were, not areas that I would expect a student to be living in and be able to come to school and learn. You just got to see some of the hardships some of these students are facing on a day-to-day basis. So it just made you open your eyes a little bit. I try and keep my classroom nice and neat and orderly and make it welcoming for the students, because I know not everybody at home has that great home life. We don't know what our kids are experiencing at home. So to be that constant, we're not always here just as teachers. We have to be here to help the kids on a day-to-day basis with all the things that they're experiencing outside of the classroom. So just kind of made you think about all of that, and the instructors are really great, and it was nice to do the ride along and hear the point of view from the LMPD officers.
I am Brittany Frills. I'm an ECE instructional assistant at Dawson Orman. I chose to go on the ride along because I've always had an interest in really being a police officer and what their day holds and what they do throughout the day. And I'm also from Muhlenberg County, so that's like Western Kentucky. I'm not from Louisville. So I have an interest in just learning, the different areas that Louisville has and where our kids come from. I'm fortunate enough, my kids and I, we have the things that we need. We don't have a lot of money, but we have what we need. But I know there are some kids that are here at our school that don't have, food or shelter or, heat, air, all that stuff. So I was just interested to see possibly where our kids could be coming from. We went to Park Hill, I think is what it's called, and while we were there, we had the experience of seeing a few kids that were outside because they didn't have school that day. There was a little boy that looked old enough to possibly be our age children that we have here at Early Childhood, and it was kind of chilly that day. He didn't have shoes on. He was walking around without a mom or a dad. If he had siblings, there was no one around. He was just kind of out playing that day, but it was a little too cold to not have shoes on, and especially he needed some supervision. And we also saw some teenagers that were sitting up, and the way that they reacted when the police officer came, they were almost like on the defense. They started scattering, and other people started coming out. And so that was kind of sad to just know that when they, some people, when they see the cops, that's their first instinct, and with that going on, if there are things that shouldn't be going on, you have that child that's right there in all of it without any supervision as well. Crystal, we learned a lot from her and what she does, and I think that one of the things that all JCPS should do is, I think that Crystal or someone like her should come into the schools and really educate us, because I think a lot of times, like we see kids that come in our room and they are clothed and they're, mom and dad may be looking okay, but really where they truly come from is, that's what's scary, because some of these kids look okay on the outside, but on the inside they're not. And I think it's just really important that we realize that this is a problem here in our community in Louisville, Jefferson County, and I think that we should all just be educated and have a want to help these kids outside of, them just coming to learn.
Hello, my name is Felicia Bryces. I'm a lead assistant at Dawson Arm. I chose the Ride Along PD to be serious. I just wanted to know what the cops were doing. I thought that we was going to ride along and do what they do. I thought we were going to be handcuffed. We was going to be put in the back to show what they do of their everyday life, not how it connected with teachers. I loved it. I truly did. I mean, from the beginning, I didn't know that we was going to talk about homelessness, and just to get that side. And the teacher, everybody needs to do it, because we need to know about compassion. That's my key word, is to understand where other people are coming from. From that point right there, then to go into the neighborhoods and just see what homelessness look like. We went from Park Hill, we went from Iroquois, we went to Americanas. We went to places that I've never seen. I've been in Louisville for 40 years, so it was really neat. I learned a lot. I never knew that police officers are stationed in the project or the area that they live in. I grew up in Cotter Homes, and it's been gone for a while. And I never knew that cops were there. I knew that they walked around and we interact with them. But the police officer that I worked with, he lived in Iroquois, and how he said that he never felt threatened. It was a community, and he enjoyed his family. They fed him, they talked to him, they visited him. So just to see that side, it really opened my eyes that, hey, that police officers are just more than police officers. It was exciting. To me, we had another cop behind us, and I asked the cop, is it okay if I look behind and see what that cop did? He said, yeah, go on and look behind and see. So I was looking behind, and so the cop followed us for a while. So all two of us was looking behind, and so he followed for a while, and then he turned off. So I just felt like that he was just making sure that his partner was okay as well as I was. I'm always looking at kiddos from a point of view because of my background, the things that I've been through. One of my little buddies of mine, we talked a couple of times of you don't know where we come from versus, somebody was homeless. I look at all kids as individuals and as a different story. And so when they come in and they say stuff, you listen. Don't off top think that, okay, that's far-fetched. That doesn't make sense. Listen to the story, get down to the nitty-gritty, because everybody's story, it's not a story sometimes. It's really true life.
My name is Tempe, just like Arizona. Tempe Douglas. I work for Dawson Arm. I work at JCPS. I am an instructional assistant in special needs. I'm blessed to work with children with autism. I teach them, but they teach me as well. Some of the strategies that I did learn was, again, that we work with children. I work with children. And sometimes I've learned over the years, when you're working with children and you see sadness, you see anger, you see how kids want to not show love to you, because we never know what they're going through at home. And one of the things that I'm trying to learn is to, as I always say, I can't keep what I have unless I give it away, to be more patient, to be more compassionate with these children, because you never know when they leave this building. A lot of them, it's the only love that they're getting. It's the only hug that they're getting. It's the only hello, how are you that they're getting. And sadly enough, a lot of them, it's the only meal that they're getting. So We have to give back. We have to be patient with them because we don't know what they're going through. We go through the neighborhoods because I was also a bus monitor. And when we go through the neighborhoods, we see the drugs, you hear the shooting. A lot of times when I've been on that bus, I don't know whether to tell those kids, you got to duck, because we have been in the communities where there have been altercations, situations going on while we're taking these children home on the bus. And when we drop them off on that bus stop, we don't know what kind of home and what kind of situation that they're going into. Let me say this, we have very loving and caring parents from this community. We really do. But a lot of children don't get that. And we have to make sure that everybody, to help somebody. We can't help everybody, but we have to help somebody. If just a few minutes of your time, just a hug, just a hello, just a thank you. We can't help everybody, but please help somebody. I am a mother. I have a 33-year-old son. I have grandsons. My perception of the police is that not all policemen are bad. They have to have strategies in order to be able to deal with the situations that they're in. I can say they can go through stuff. They do. You're human. Everyone is going through stuff. Everyone is going through life. My perception of the police officers, I have to be honest, I'm trying to change my perception. Because when I look and I see and I feel what I feel being an African American, I know everybody is not bad people. So I have to wrestle with what's in me to give back what I can and not perceive, unless it's firsthand, but not to perceive everybody as a bad person, because I don't do that.